I'd like to jump in to some opening remarks. And in keeping with our theme for this year, let's keep it moving. Family, I know from our work together over the years that we sometimes get tired. We sometimes get discouraged, and truth be told, we sometimes feel defeated. When we look back, reflecting on the road traveled together, the hardships endured, and even some of the battles lost, the regression we see in realms we once made significant progress, such as voting rights, women's rights, civil rights, we may be tempted to lament that we're not as far along as we might have hoped or expected. But we must fight this temptation to descend into despair. For those are simply negative forces at play. And growing up in church in Morristown, we were always taught that when negative forces in our lives remind us of our past failings, we must remind those negative forces of their future. Family, tonight, in line with our events theme, I want to remind us all that the victory is already ours. If only we keep faith and keep moving forward. Again, I submit to you, the victory is already ours, beloved community. If only we keep believing. The victory is already ours. If only we remember who we are called to be. The very manifestation of love and light in our communities and what we are called to do. Spread love and light, speak truth to power, hold accountable our leaders, and push for progress here on earth. And yes, I do have to specify here on earth because there are some folks that believe we're better off relocating to Mars than taking care of home, but I digress. The victory is already ours if we continue to grow together, if we can learn to trust one another once more, if we can open our eyes and hearts to the unique value each of us brings to our collective table of hope. The victory is ours if we keep our loving movement moving forward, understanding that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it certainly bends towards justice. Moreover, family, I submit to you the victory is ours because the divine designer has the final say and says it is so. In a world that is constantly in motion, stagnancy is tantamount to death. So we must keep it moving. Our dreams for ourselves, for our children, and for one another are but fleeting thoughts if we do not couple those dreams with action. We simply must keep it moving. In speaking of our collective dreams, I'm reminded of what the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said of the movements in the 1960s. Words that I submit, dear family, are relevant and applicable even today. Dr. King said, "It may well be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the vitriolic words and violent actions of bad people, but for the appalling silence and indifference of the good people who sit around and say, wait on time." While we must not be guided by impatience or frustration, we also cannot afford to be lulled into assuming a stand by and stand back posture. No, we keep it moving. Dr. King also said a social movement that only moves people is merely a revolt. A movement that changes both people and institutions is a revolution. Let us always remember, even as we endeavor to keep making forward progress this year, the immense importance of touching hearts, even as we push institutionally for progress on our community's agenda. We must simply keep the love flowing and keep the movement moving. On the cusp of seeing a Black woman ascend to the highest court in the land, we simply got to keep it moving. Still, we must also always remember that we are not moving alone. The old African adage goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. May the divine designer work to heal our hearts, open our eyes, and help us emulate that cosmic unconditional love. Let's keep hope alive, even knowing we have much work still to do. As the elders like to say, let's keep on keeping on. Stated a little bit differently, as the songwriter says, let us march on till victory is won.